Let's be honest, most companies think that they have an onboarding process, but they don't. What they actually have is a glorified welcome packet, a PowerPoint graveyard, and a manager's wing it club that meets every Monday morning. You know what I mean? New hires show up on day one, bright eyed, pumped up, dressed a little too nice. HR gives them a tour. Someone shows them where the coffee is. They sign a few forms, maybe watch an outdated training video from 2014, and that's it. Then fast forward about 90 days. The same new hire looks like they've just been through the corporate boot camp without a map. They're confused, disengaged, and secretly they're browsing a job on their lunch break after just a few months. And here's the harsh truth: onboarding isn't some nice to have HR formality, it's the single most critical phase of the employment life cycle. It determines whether you have a new hire that becomes your next top performer or if that person is going to be out your door within a few months. And right now, most companies are absolutely butchering it with cookie cutter orientations, zero clarity, and no real plan to integrate these people into the culture or the mission of the company. Here's what a broken onboarding program really looks like. New hires get tossed into the deep end with no map, no mentor, or no clue which way is up. They're told shadow someone, except that someone is already drowning in their own workload and has about 5 minutes to give to that new hire. Managers assume HR handled it, while HR assumed that the managers handled it. Meanwhile, the new hire is sitting there wondering if anyone actually knew that they were actually starting this week. They spend their first month chasing logins, hunting down policies, and emailing 6 different people just to figure out how to manage the platforms that they're supposed to be using. They're stuck in corporate limbo, too new to know what to do, but expected to perform as if they've been there for years. And then comes the silence: no check ins, no feedback, no direction, just figure it out. By the time that leadership finally notices that the morale is dropping and productivity is tanking, it's already too late because the damage is already done. That's when red flags start popping up: confusion, disengagement, quietness and distance, avoiding managers, and eventually turnover. You know, that awkward moment when somebody quits right after training and everyone acts shocked? Yeah, it's not about bad luck. That's bad onboarding. I once worked with a company that had what they called an onboarding program, but let me tell you, it was basically me, a computer, and a bunch of outdated videos that should have been retired years ago. I was starting in a sales position. I was really excited to crush it. I'd been doing sales for a long time. But after day one, I realized that nobody actually planned for me to succeed. They sat me at my workstation with no guidance on how to use the platforms I needed. They had no walkthroughs, no mentors, just here's your login and good luck. They told me how many calls and emails I needed to make each day, but never once explained how I should be calling and who were the right customers that I needed to be reaching out to. So, like most new hires in the situation I was in, I had to figure it out all on my own. I ended up creating my own system, learning the platforms the hard way, and thankfully, I was a lucky one. I already had a system that I brought into place that helped me be successful. But I watched a lot of good people end up walking out the door after they had been there for a few months because they didn't have the same structure and system that I had in place, nor did they get the training they needed to be successful at their job. That experience stuck with me. It showed me firsthand that when you leave onboarding to chance, you're not just rolling the dice on performance, you're gambling with your company's culture, productivity, and future. And here's the thing, most onboarding programs focus only on the employee, but the truth is, for onboarding to actually work, you need a system that guides both sides of the process. The new hires need clarity on what's expected, when the milestone should happen in their position, and how to track their progress. The manager needs a step-by-step roadmap on checking in with the new hires, coaching, and dealing with accountability. That's exactly what I cover in Onboarding Essentials. It's a complete system that keeps everyone on track. Stick around to the end because I'll show you how to implement it and actually fix your onboarding chaos. So why does this happen? It's simple. Most companies treat onboarding as a checklist instead of a system to bring people up to speed. They think that once the paperwork is signed and the orientation video plays, they're done. But onboarding is not a one-day event. It's a 90-day process of integration, alignment, and accountability. And here's the kicker. If onboarding fails, it's not because of the HR department. It's because leadership didn't take ownership in the process. If leadership doesn't set the tone, clarify expectations, and connect new hires to a purpose, no amount of welcome swag is going to save you. So how do you fix this? Here's what I tell every organization that I work with. Number one, define what the outcome is. What does fully onboarded actually mean at your organization? This isn't just about paperwork, it's about clarity, role expectations, culture, and performance milestones. Step two, align with ownership. Who's responsible for what? HR, the trainer, the manager, the team, and the new hire. Everyone has a role and it needs to be laid out crystal clear. The third thing then is map out the first 90 days for your new hires. Break it down into week by week, including goals, check-ins, and milestones, and make sure you include training across all essentials. What are they? Culture and vision. They need to understand what your company stands for. They also need to have industry knowledge. If they've come into your business and never been in your industry before, guess what? You have to teach them about it. And then job specific training. You have a certain way that you want people to do the jobs that you hire them for. You've got to set up a training program that teaches them your way of training. You can't just rely on their prior knowledge or experience, especially if they are brand new into your industry. The fourth thing then is you have got to train your managers. The onboarding experience is only as strong as the people who are delivering it. Make sure your managers know how to coach, how to provide feedback, and how to reinforce the culture and vision of your company. Step five, then, the final thing is you have got to measure it, track engagement, performance, and retention for every new hire that you bring on. Data tells the truth. If something's broken, you'll know it fast. When you nail these 5 steps, you're not just onboarding employees, you're activating them. You're giving them the tools, knowledge, and context to be confident, engaged, and effective from day one. That's exactly what my Onboarding Essentials program is built to do. It gives you a complete, ready-to-use framework to put into action. Think of it as plug and play without reinventing the wheel. Onboarding Essentials is a 4 PDF program that walks you through every phase of the onboarding process, from pre-boarding to post-boarding, so you can finally have clarity, consistency, and accountability. You'll get templates, checklists, and guides to help you align leadership, boost engagement, and drastically improve the retention. Bottom line, this program helps you stop losing good people for preventable reasons. So if you're ready to clean up the chaos and start onboarding like a pro, click on the link in the description and grab Onboarding Essentials today. And in my next video, I'm going to tackle something that every leader needs: how to get employees to actually care about their job. Because once you fix onboarding, the next challenge is building an emotional investment with your people. And that's where real retention begins. Now I want to hear from you. What's the worst onboarding experience that you've ever seen or been part of? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. And if this hit home for you, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody that could use the help. Because the truth is, bad onboarding doesn't just cost money, it costs you people.